What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
You're wrong.
Should I keep my hands up again so that way I don't clap during the intro?
No, because that failed.
That did fail, yeah.
I don't think you did that with the round table.
I hope not, because that is just so immediately, noticeable as, my tick.
No, I don't
my
think
nervous tick. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 143 of the Underground Circuit podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. As Casey mentioned, this is our, follow-up episode to our roundtable. We hope that everybody enjoyed that. We had a blast filming that. That was a lovely experience.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And recording that. But thank you. Please go listen to that episode. That's a great episode. It's a great preview of 2026 and all of these storylines that are coming for 2026. So, with that being said, thank you again for joining us today. Please make sure to go follow us and subscribe to us on our social media channels. We are found on Instagram at undergroundcircuit_. Twitter is UGCircuitPod. TikTok is underground_circuit. And finally, YouTube is Underground Circuit. We just passed 50 subscribers on that. I posted it on Threads the other day, and I was just like, this is a small but cool win. Especially because seeing the start of that channel, and it being I think when I first looked at it, I think it was literally 10 subscribers. So it's cool seeing that 50.
Yeah,
I'm very, very excited about it. But like I said, make sure to go follow us over on those channels. We're doing a lot of cool stuff coming up. We have a lot of exciting, fun things happening, and we have an exciting episode today for everybody. So we have 3 liveries that we're going to discuss. We have our regular, news of the week and everything. Not a lot of F1 news. There's a little bit more IndyCar news, but I'm sure if you don't live under a rock, you're aware of what the IndyCar news is. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to go into, it's a pre-recorded bit, and you can watch this video on YouTube too by the time this episode comes out, but it is the Creators Kit interview that I did with Jamey Price. So we'll get into that a little bit more once we get there. But again, thank you for joining us. Casey, do you want to jump into it with your meme? I don't have a meme this week. You have a meme.
Yes, I have a meme, and it goes with some piece of news. But this is my meme. Hold on, I hate when it does this. This is my meme. It's the iconic commercial between Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button in the car for the Mobil 1, and they're putting on these cheesy, so bad American accents. It's hilarious, but yeah, this is my meme because of the news with Jenson going over to Aston Martin today, so they're kind of back, and people are like, Aston Martin, you have the chance to do the funniest thing ever, and I think they should. They need to do it. It'd be perfect.
I think with the amount of people that I saw, not calling for this, but bringing this up on Threads and how interactive teams are on Threads, I hope to God that somebody from Aston Martin saw this and was like, we have to do this again. I hope that when Jenson was joining back again, that they had already thought of it, but I'm really hoping now that it's oh, hey, I saw this thing on Threads or Twitter or wherever you see it, and it's just we have to do this again.
It's just when you think of those two, that's what you think of right away.
It's what pops into your head, yeah.
It's immediately what pops into your head, and it's just one of the funniest F1 bits I think there is, so I need to see them do it again. Yeah. And they could even throw, Lance in the back seat. I don't care, but, put the two of them in the front and, recreate that commercial. But
do the whole thing. Do it shot for shot to make the whole thing. Yeah, throw Lance in the back to get him in there, too. But, yeah, definitely do it again, please.
I know, it's Valvoline is their, I think that's their motor, their oil, or who they use.
That's still perfect. That's still a gas company then, because Mobil 1 was gas as well. Yeah. So
Be perfect. You know, if the two of them, because that was when they were McLaren, if those two went back to McLaren, McLaren would be making that commercial in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, do it, Aston Martin. Take one for the team.
Please.
Do it.
Please.
But yes. So we have some liveries. I said liveries to discuss. 3 to recap, and then we learn the rest of the grid within the next week.
Yeah.
Less than a week.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. But yes, so Mercedes. We can start with Mercedes.
Should we pull it up on the screen?
I can. Hold on.
I was gonna say I think I can pull it up as well.
No, I have them in.
Oh, you have like the photo saved.
Yeah, well, because I pulled up Canva.
Oh, that's right.
When I keep adding them to the screen. Okay, here. This is Mercedes. This is the overhead shot of Mercedes, which I think is the better way to.
I think it's the best angle to look at it.
Yeah. So this is Mercedes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
From this angle, love. I do wish it was more silver throughout the whole livery, because the silver arrow is just iconic when you think of Mercedes. But I do think, I mean, I like it, but I do wish the silver was throughout. I love this, and at first when people are like, it's to match like Adidas, but Adidas doesn't have that many lines.
Right. Yeah, Adidas is 3 big white lines, not 5, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be, but I do like it. The Patronus, that does work so well on the rear wing.
Yeah.
That's perfect there. But yeah, I can bring up another.
I mean, personally, I think it looks great. You can't see it in this photo, but there are the streaks of like the teal on the side pods now, and I think it looks great. I love the, like, don't get me wrong, like, I love that. Yeah, like there's the teal, I guess. Teal. Oh, hi, Maggie.
Oh, hi, Maggie.
Yeah, she's coming up for a guest appearance. Maggie, what do you think of the Mercedes livery?
Hold on, they can't see her.
What do you think, huh? Very good. Good opinion. I think it looks awesome. I love whether or not the tapering there on the top of the side pods is for Adidas. I think it's a beautiful choice regardless. I actually saw somebody posted it the other day. They took that and like turned it into an iPhone wallpaper. So it's like a black and gray.
Oh.
Like, I'll have to show it to you once we're done. I can't show it on camera right now because my phone is my camera. But it looks great. And I had like, at the beginning of this year, I had like grayscaled my entire phone, and it just blended like beautifully into it. And I was like, oh, this is happening.
That's nice.
So it works beautifully. All right, bye, Maggie.
She just want to come and say hi.
Yeah, just say hi. Tell everyone what's up. But I think, I love it. I think it looks great. I think it's a beautiful blend of the black and the silver with a little splash of teal.
And you know what the detail I love? The Mercedes, like, diamond, whatever you want to call it, like, the middle of the Mercedes circle that's, like, on the back, and like how it's just, floating throughout. I do love that little hint. But, yeah, it's a good one.
All the cars right now, I gotta say, I am loving the form factor that the new regulations have like caused in the cars. Something about it to me, they just look like rocket ships, like even more so than they did last year. Yeah, I don't know if it's because they're smaller and they're like sleeker, but they look, to me, the form factor of them, I think looks beautiful. But yeah, the liveries so far, I think, have done a really good job of like playing to that.
You know, this is jumping ahead. You know who I'm excited to see the livery on their car? Aston Martin, because they just went straight black last week during Barcelona, and like you can tell Adrian Newey got his hands on that design because it's a little different from everyone else's, and like with the side pods, so I'm excited to see they're never like, they never go out of pocket with their liveries, like it's always kind of similar, but I'm excited to see it on the new car because I feel like it's going to look different.
Yeah, well, I also saw with the air intake for Aston Martin, they have a triangle compared to everybody else, which is interesting. I don't
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics like that much to be like, this is what it's going to do, but I was like, oh, that is interesting that everybody else has the normal kind of circle air intake and Aston Martin has a triangle. So
it's almost like Adrian Newey was like, ooh, Honda engine, I know how that works. New regs, let me play with it a little bit.
Let me play around.
Yeah. Moving on. We'll go to Owen's least favorite one.
You're gonna
First.
All right, this is fine. This I just don't like.
Who are you more disappointed with, this or Audi?
Well, honestly, equal, and for both the same reasons. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, and like, listen, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite here too, because if McLaren comes out next week and it's the same thing, I'm gonna be like, great, you did an awesome job. I love it. At least McLaren, like, don't get me wrong, that's gonna bother me, but at least McLaren has that thing of like, when we win, we keep it the same because that's what we've done. So it's like, at least you have that backing of like the tradition there.
Yeah.
This is just like, hey, we just didn't feel like changing it.
No, like even like the BWT is the exact same.
Right. And that's what so it was funny. My thoughts were exactly put in the words by I'm going to get it wrong. Matt and Tommy, P1.
Yeah.
Because I saw their clip of the reveal, and as they're like slowly unveiling the rest of the car, I think it's Matt. I can't remember who it is. And he's literally just like, okay, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same. And it's like as soon as it's fully unveiled, they're like, it's the same. I do something different. At least do something different.
You know? And you know what? They literally could have just reversed it. Where the blue was, it could be pink, and where the pink was, it could be blue. And I would have been in love with it.
It would have been beautiful. It would have looked wonderful. It would have been different, and it would just like that's the thing. It's an immediate disappointment to me to be like, you did the same thing that you did last year. Yeah.
And I will have to say, for all the hype they created with the launch being on the cruise ship, and then you slowly pull back the curtain and it's the exact same car before. Yeah. It was a letdown. Did you see the clip where it almost took out Pierre Gasly taking the tarp off?
No.
He literally almost tripped and fell. People were like,
"That's good."
People were like, Pierre Gasly almost didn't make it to the first race of the season. But yeah, it's not my fave. Definitely not my fave.
Yeah,
it's down there with Audi so far.
It's lower on the rankings. I think if I had to rank the two of them, just because they're the biggest disappointments, I think Alpine is higher than Audi right now.
Yeah.
Because at least Audi had the thing going on where it's like, it's an entirely brand new team. You could have done so much with it and you just chose not to. Whereas at least Alpine is like, we haven't really gotten great liveries from them in the past couple of years, at least in my memory and opinion. But so it's like, all right, whatever. It's kind of the same. But Audi, I would say right now is bottom of the tier. But Alpine is right there to me.
I just think because Audi, we had such high expectations. New team. Right. Stake had good liveries. So we're like, okay, maybe no. But moving on to the last one to review, Ferrari. Obviously, I'm
curious to know your thoughts.
No, I like it a lot.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
I like it a lot. I like the white, primarily on the back of the car. Do I wish there was maybe a little more white? Sure. Yeah. But once you see it to the, cars of, was it the early 2000s or the 90s? Yeah. It's almost identical, which is a cool... it's like a cool play to, a design from before. So I do really like it. I think, I'm going to say it, I think the white helps the HP blend in a lot more. Uh-huh. The only thing I will say, I don't know how I feel about the lighter shade of red.
Okay, alright, cool. So this is what I was thinking, too. So, I love this. I genuinely cannot decide if this or Red Bull is my favorite so far.
Oh, okay.
I think this is beautiful. Like you mentioned, I love even if it's not a homage to whatever year livery that was, the fact that it's so similar and it's got this throwback style to it, I love. I think it's great. I think I'm going to use the same word here again. It's different than what we've gotten from Ferrari in the past couple years, and it's
very.
That's great. I love it. I personally never thought that the HP logo was that bad on the red, but I do agree that the white helps it flow better on the car. Yeah, and blend in a little bit better. The one thing that I was caught up on was the shade of red, where I was just like, and I don't know if that's because we got the Vegas livery 2 years ago, or maybe last year, where it was like the deeper red with the white.
It was the first year of Vegas, yeah. It was the deeper, it was like the iconic Ferrari red with the white, and it just looked vintage.
So, I don't know if I'm just, like, used to that, and, like, last year's car was a deeper red, so I don't know if it's just because of the difference, and you're like, whoa, hold on, like, it's just, like, getting used to it. But I really like this. I think the wildest take I heard was that there wasn't enough red on it. And I was like,
which I think
the entire body is red.
It's like, literally the whatever you call it, the fin or whatever, and then like where they're sitting. That's everything else is red. Like you still when that's flying down the street, however fast it's going, you're gonna see red.
Yeah. I was just like, I saw a bunch of takes like that on social media, and I was like, I personally don't understand how are you going to look at this and say that there's not enough red on it? It's almost entirely, like, at minimum, it is 75% red, 25% white.
No, it's majority. It's the majority of it is red. You know what I wish they could do? And it would be like a fun, like, one-off livery, maybe like Monza. I'm wearing it. So for this Ferrari, like, on the... Like, just put it on the body somewhere. It just, like, when you look at it, you're like, oh, they're the only team that, like, doesn't kind of have their name, like, on the car. But this also, looking at this now, I think I was talking about this on Threads with Terry, maybe Adam, Ferrari, when the whole HP conversation was going on, which at the end of the day, people, you're giving HP exactly what they want because you're talking about them.
I'm talking about them, right.
Yeah.
Right, you are talking about them.
Bad press is good press in the world of marketing, so they're happy with it. Ferrari really doesn't care what color your logos are. Like, you can just have your normal logo on the car.
You can slap it on there.
Yeah. So, but yeah. That was Ferrari.
Go ahead.
Good. No, go.
I was just going to say, there's one more livery that I wanted to talk about, but it's not the official livery. It's McLaren's testing livery.
Oh, do you want to bring it up?
You don't have to bring it up. I just want to say this. It's like this grayed out, like, I don't even really know how to explain it. If I'm remembering correctly, it is what the Audi livery should have been in terms of, like, design. I think if you brought that livery back this year and you were like, that's our stealth livery for the year, I would have been like, fuck yeah. Like, absolutely, I'm in. Like, it just...
No, it's so good. Like, the gradient of gray in the back, that is good. I also liked how both Oscar and Lando had, like, one-off special, like, testing helmets and, like, the testing race suits. They were primarily almost all... It was like they were all dressed in black, and it was really nice to see. I do.
Thought of that. Honestly, when I first saw the picture of it, I got excited because I thought it was their livery, and I was like, whoa.
No, a lot of people
when did that happen? And then I remember, and I was like, they haven't had their launch yet. Also, they're probably not changing it. So I was like, I can't get too excited. And I was like, it looks awesome, though. And I was like, if they bring that back for like a race or two as their quote-unquote stealth livery like they had a couple years ago, I'm all in. I was like, I love that.
No, because you know that under, like, the lights of a night race would look really nice.
Very nice.
No, a lot of people thought that was their actual livery, and people were freaking out. So they were like, there's no papaya. People were like, it's not the livery.
It's not the actual livery.
It's not the livery. But, yes. Moving on. By this time next week, we will have a full grid. We'll have a full, colorful grid. So, obviously, we have McLaren next Monday.
Next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. I have to change my calendar. We have McLaren next Monday, which I'm expecting... Well, they're launching theirs live in Bahrain.
Yes.
Because it'll be right before the first week of Bahrain testing. Which, side note, I saw a rumor today that apparently the teams want the first day of Bahrain testing completely closed door, private.
Really?
If they do that, people are already annoyed that they can only watch the last hour of the first week of Bahrain testing. If they take another, people are going to lose their mind.
I wonder if they would get that, though, because of the new regs.
I think they might.
Like, the FIA, whoever makes that decision would allow that because of the new regs, you know? But
well, that's the reason why Barcelona was private, because the teams wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
McLaren, I expect it to be papaya.
Yep.
Clearly.
I'm going into it with the McLaren that it's going to be the same car. That's what I'm going into it.
I actually think we might get something a little different. Do you want me to... Hold on. I saw something on Threads today.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm going into it, it's going to be the same car. It will look different, though, but I think the only reason it's going to look different is because, obviously, the proportions are different on the car now, so they have to adjust the livery to kind of work for those new proportions and size and everything. Like, you can't just slap the livery on, you know, the car and expect it to look the same. You know, you're going to have to tweak it a little bit, so...
Yeah.
I think it'll look a little bit different, but not, like, crazy different. That's at least what I'm going into it with.
Don't listen to me. I thought someone leaked what the new McLaren Lego car was going to look like, and it had what the livery was, but it's last year's car. And I think it's going to be a little bit different, but I think we're also finding out... our McLaren's the same day. Because, like, notice they released their team kit today with McLaren F1, so I think we're finding out all of that. But yes, we get McLaren. We get Williams tomorrow.
Yep.
Bright and early on Tuesday morning.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm expecting, if with the way this season is starting for them, just give us good livery. Just do it. I know you can do it.
Yeah.
I know you can do it.
You have it in you, Williams. Yeah.
With that new W, with the new W, it makes me think they're going to go for like, kind of like Ferrari, like pulling from an old car design, but I don't know what they could pull from. But yeah, so just give us good livery, Williams. Aston Martin is next Monday as well, and I'm not really expecting much difference from them either. Like I said earlier, they don't really ever change.
Yeah.
They don't change the liveries much.
2 years ago, last year, I think, it was just like a lighter shade of green?
Yeah, it was like shiny or something.
Yeah. I'm not expecting much from them either. And
last but not least, I have the highest expectations from them, and they better not let me the F down, or I'll be disappointed during the Super Bowl. Cadillac.
I'm going to be really pissed off, and you know why? Because here you go. So there's a rumor going around right now that Marvel is entirely skipping the Super Bowl. So we won't get an Avengers trailer, and we won't get a Spider-Man trailer, which were the two rumor trailers that we were going to be getting in the Super Bowl. Now the new rumor is that they're not going to be there at all. So, if that's true, the only thing I really have to look forward to at the Super Bowl is A, food, and B, Cadillac's livery reveal.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you give me something like on a fucking Audi level, I am going to be pissed.
Yeah. I want to take like a live reaction video of that to us seeing the ad, and I just can picture you being like, oh. Yeah. You're going to be so annoyed.
I'm going to be so mad. If it's
grab another beer. Turn up Bad Bunny when he comes on the halftime show.
Just drown my sorrows in Bad Bunny.
But no, I'm expecting a lot from them. They just have, so far, like, even the pictures of, like, the team kits and the race suits and stuff are just so cool. And, like, the little teaser they gave us so I don't know if this is how the commercial's going to start, which is good, because then we know what to look out for. So
I can see that happening.
Giving, like NASA, like, moon landing, this kind of vibe.
I can see the commercial starting the same way that kind of teaser started, because a lot of companies now will do the stupid, like, Super Bowl teaser commercials, where it's like, watch for our commercial, so it's like, cool, and I'm sure they're thinking, okay, anybody who follows us will know kind of what to look for, you know, and, like, the moment they see that kind of the same opening,
there's also, there's also this, like, that looks like they're in the middle of the desert in, like, Nevada, like, Area 51, kind of, like...
Sons of bitches.
I feel like I see white.
If they do
Wait up. Let me pull it up.
I'm going to freak out if they do white.
Remember there was that rumored leak?
Yeah, I do. They do. They have a lot to live up to.
They have so much to live up to.
Yeah. Like, can you also imagine dropping a shitty livery on Super Bowl Sunday too?
No, you're. Like, do you not see right there?
Yeah, it's got to be
the nose has to be
gray,
white
at least.
Yeah. Like, that is a lighter color of some sort.
Yeah.
This is
you
black.
You can see a clear deviation between the two colors there. Yeah.
But this is just, like, giving, again, space. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's back. I have a lot of, don't let me down, Cadillac. Don't let me down.
Yeah. Like I said, if I'm not getting a Spider-Man trailer, you better be sure. You better fucking deliver on that livery. If
Owen only has one chance to yell, "Shut up, people! I need to pay attention."
Well, I can't even yell that this year. I'm gonna be with Andrew's family, so I can't tell them to shut up.
No, you can't. But yeah, they're the liveries we have looking forward to. Barcelona testing. I know you can't take anything seriously from Barcelona testing. You can't look at the times. The only takeaway I gotta say, I think that Mercedes engine is gonna be dangerous. And I think we could see a Mercedes fight for a championship, maybe in both categories.
I saw the quotes today that George is ready for a championship hunt. And I was like, he wouldn't be saying that if he wasn't, like, confident in something. And, like, I feel like there's always, like, the preseason interviews where it's like every driver's kind of like, I'd love to fight for a championship and everything. Yeah. Trying to hype up the team and hype themselves up. But George being like, I'm ready for this, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he means business, and the fact that they, like, ran 500 laps at Barcelona testing, like, they didn't really have much. They didn't really have many reliability issues. Yeah, I think we might be in for a Mercedes. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 with McLaren because it's the same engine, but you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's literally in Mercedes to start a new era at the top. They've done it before. Why not do it again?
Right.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, you're just repeating history at that point.
Yeah, just repeating history. But yes, moving on to our news. Like we said earlier, Jenson Button is switching from Williams to Aston Martin. I don't know how much worse it can get for Williams because Jenson Button was a great team ambassador for them. He really, like, supported both of the boys, the drivers. Like, I really don't know, but yeah, he's now with Aston Martin. So, as a team ambassador on a multi-year deal. So he's not going away anytime soon. But yeah.
No, and, like, that's all the stuff we've seen about Williams so far. Like, we were kind of saying this before we started recording, but, like, all the stuff we've seen so far is, like, all right, it's not the best that they're skipping, Barcelona and everything, and the stuff with their livery reveals change from this big live event to just a social media post. This to me kind of scares me though, and I don't know. It's also hard with this because it's like one of two things happened: either something happens, something has shaken Jensen's faith in the team, and he kind of just wants to jump ship, or.
And Aston Martin said, here's a little more
just
money.
Fucking boatload of money.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I don't know. I'm getting progressively more worried about Williams. And this is not, I wouldn't say it's the final nail in the coffin, but, like, the nail is, like, halfway down.
The nail is pretty hammered in there. No, I was talking to someone today on Threads. A loyal, like, someone I reply to a lot on Threads. We were talking back and forth, and what was she saying? Hold on, sorry. She said Williams is drowning us in new partner announcements. Like, while we haven't really seen anything with the car, what it's going to look like on track. And then I said, I saw someone the other day being like, now they're distracting us with Carlos, because Carlos posted, like, a new vlog, and normally just gets posted to his YouTube channel. They posted it to Williams' YouTube channel, and Williams was, like, hardcore like throwing it in your face. So like people were like, yeah, they're distracting us. Yeah. They're setting us up because it's going to be miserable. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, moving on. IndyCar news. Like Owen said at the beginning, if you live under a rock, you may have missed this news.
Yeah.
So the end of last week, over the weekend, the end of last week, it broke that there is going to be a race in Washington, D.C. because the President of the United States, who's BFF with Roger Penske, signed an executive order to make this race happen. And no, not for next year, for this year. So they're adding a race on to the end of August, which DC in August sounds miserable.
August 23rd, yeah.
Yeah. Throughout the streets of DC. So Owen and I went to the Red Bull show run, so I feel like that street could be a part of it because it was a pretty decent street.
It was a straightaway, and it had Capitol Hill in the background, so it makes sense as like a picturesque location.
Yeah. Now it's called the Freedom 250, which makes sense if you take all the politics out of it because it's the country's 250th birthday.
Right.
Obviously, it's just sports aren't politics. Just stay out of sports and all this stuff. It's a huge conversation to open up about it. I went immediately back to now we understand why IndyCar wasn't really that upset with DHS using the image and likeness of the car with graphics, but it's a mess. And I posted this on Threads. I really want to race in the Northeast, but not like this.
Yeah, that's like where I'm at too. Where it's like we've been doing this show for how many years now, and like we've been saying like more races in the Northeast, more races in the Northeast. Like please make it happen. We would love if it happens. And then it goes and happens like this, and it's just like, all right, that's not what we meant. Like that's not what we wanted. So it is. I don't really know like what else to say about it other than just like it's happening. Like
it's gonna happen either way. I do strongly believe it's going to be a mess because you're planning a race and not just like I think I would have more faith it won't be a mess if it was like a set track, like an oval. No, they're like creating a street track and all those plans within the next like 7 months. So I do think it's going to be
a mess. And when I saw I think it was a post from IndyCar the other day with the new revised schedule.
Yeah.
And I saw the August 23rd Washington DC, and there's like, not that I was expecting them to have this done yet. Like it was pretty quickly how they did it. And obviously you're going to post that schedule revision to get it out there so people know ahead of time. But like all the tracks having their like outline next to their date and everything, and then it was just the date for Washington, and it was just like, all right, I think it's going to be bad. I have a feeling it's going to be a little poor.
It could also be, I'm just thinking about here at the end of August, what that weather can be like. You could just have like a freak thunderstorm in the middle of the day.
You could have a freak thunderstorm in the middle of the day. It could be 105 degrees.
With 90% humidity, it's going to be miserable. I have seen, I think there is rumors it's supposed to be a free race, which that's great. If you're trying to make the race free, like I love that Detroit does that for so many of their areas because there's not really a lot of places where you can have grandstands. So you're making it free for anyone to come. It's just the way it's going about. And I know a lot of people are being kind of turned away from IndyCar because of this and like seeing different drivers be excited for it. And a fellow content creator, her name's Jess, she literally just happened to start posting a YouTube series like for F1 fans to get into IndyCar, like introducing each driver, who they are, like races and all this stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, you can continue to watch. I get it. If you're not going to be a fan anymore, I absolutely get it. I'm not stopping you. That is up to you. Like, but she was kind of saying like, I'm going to continue holding the Motorsport series and the people within that like higher up, like, or like keeping them up. What's it called? I can't think of the word.
Higher standard.
Yeah, like accountable for whatever they're doing and all this stuff, and like, so yeah, it's an interesting move from IndyCar.
Yeah,
but kind of expected from an American motorsport race. I hate to say.
Yeah,
but But yeah.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. Like you said, it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, if this is your entry into IndyCar, that's great. You know, more fans of motorsport, like, we're like more than welcome. But yeah, it's just kind of shitty. Like we said, the way that we've been saying for years, like, we want this, we want more races up closer to us. You know, from a selfish reason, we would make it easier on us to get to these things, and then it happens like this, and it's just So that's that. But yeah, America 250, end of August. So it's gonna be blazing balls hot. And
yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, so that should be exciting and fun to see. Like,
I also just keep thinking about, like, if it's like a rainy weekend, that'll be miserable.
Yeah, but yes, regardless, there we go. So
but yeah, that's really all we had for this chunk of the episode.
Yes. So
Owen,
as Casey's alluding to, so if anybody is, we've posted it a couple times, but the first episode of our brand new YouTube series called The Creator's Kit will be dropping this week. Like I said, by the time you're listening to this episode, we're going to go right into the interview. You can also watch it on YouTube. Please go watch it on YouTube and listen to it however you want to consume this. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. This is a series that I'm very excited about. I'm going to be sitting down with photographers, social media people, content creators, journalists, and kind of going through the creative process with them, so that, you know, I'm labeling it as capture, organize, edit, publish, and analyze, and walking through those steps with them and discussing the tech and tools that they use to make it happen. So it's all motorsport, content creators, photographers, stuff like that. Our first episode is dropping this week. We're going to go right into it. It's with Jamey Price. He is a photographer for literally every single racing series, I think, out there. He listed off right at the start of the interview, like, everything he does, and I was amazed at it. It is so cool. So like you said, you're going to go listen to this now. That's going to wrap up the episode, so thank you so much for listening to this portion and hopefully the next portion. Make sure, like I said at the beginning of the episode, go follow us on our social medias. It is at @UndergroundCircuit_ for Instagram and Threads, UG Circuit Pod for Twitter, and underground_circuit for TikTok. And then finally, to go watch the full video of the Creator's Kit, go follow us over on our YouTube, obviously at Underground Circuit. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the interview. And we will talk to you next week when we have the rest of the liveries to talk about. So, exciting stuff.
See you later, people.
See you later. Enjoy the interview. Yeah, enjoy the interview. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Creator's Kit. This is our brand new series for the Underground Circuit podcast, where I am sitting down with yours and my favorite content creators, photographers, social media people, journalists, etc., and walking them through their creative process and the tools that they use to make it possible. This morning, I am with Jamey Price. He is a photographer for, I think, genuinely every piece of motorsport there is. I was watching your YouTube channel a little bit, and your trailer that you have on there, you just like started listing off all these series that you have been a part of, and it was really, really cool. But Jamey, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. Can you give us a little blurb about yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Jamey Price. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have been covering motorsport professionally since 2011-ish. So I've kind of had the opportunity and experience to go all over the world. I've been to 30 different countries on 4 continents. I'll be adding a 5th continent and another country in a couple weeks' time. So very excited, but I get to do some amazing stuff and be around some amazing race cars. And I'm basically, like, if you really boil it down, I'm just a motorsport fan. I was always a motorsport fan from a very early young age. And somehow lucked into working in the motorsport industry.
Right.
So I've covered Formula One, I've covered Le Mans, I've covered World Endurance Championship, events. I've covered almost over a decade of IMSA WeatherTech, which was previously American Le Mans and Grand Am. I've covered NASCAR, IndyCar, MotoGP. I've covered sports car racing like GT World Challenge. I've covered drag racing, and it's really cool to be able to like say that I've dipped my toes into so many different types of things, and it's I love it. I love motor racing. I love the whole atmosphere at races, and it's a cool job.
It looks incredible. I mean, like I just said, that plethora of series and specs that you've been a part of is just absolutely incredible. I have to say though, I was on your Threads profile the other day, and you posted this picture, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, and it's you saying that you've gotten sprayed with champagne by Lewis Hamilton while Justin Bieber watched. And out of all the amazing, fantastical things that you've done in motorsports, I immediately was like, I think that's the coolest. I think that's such a unique and cool experience. It was awesome to see that photo.
Yeah, really, that was from Monaco. I think it was 2016 actually, and you know, I think that was the year that Daniel Ricciardo was leading and probably should have won the race, and Lewis won it instead. But that was like, you know, I miss the old Monaco where they had that podium that was basically right down on the track, and the drivers would come down and celebrate with their team. They've since changed the podium, so it's no longer quite like that. But you know, I have some like really cool little memories and things like that I will have with me forever, that, you know, Lewis Hamilton sprayed me. He did a pretty good job of avoiding it. It wasn't me specifically that he was spraying, but his mechanics were like right behind me, and I didn't realize that until it was kind of too late to move. So you just kind of, you're like, well, here we go, hope for the best. And champagne and camera gear never go well together. I
can imagine so, yeah.
I have a lot of experience knowing that, and so you just kind of like, well, oh well, but it's worth the maybe potential damage to the camera gear for that picture, and it's all insured anyway. But yeah, he just sprayed his mechanics who were right behind me, and I just happened to be in the way, and his friend Justin Bieber was there watching on.
That was like the little tagline at the end that made me crack up too, because you were like, oh, I've been sprayed with champagne by Lewis Hamilton, and then literally at the end it's just, while Justin Bieber watched. And I'm like, the fact that that's just like a little annotation at the end it killed me. But
you gotta love
great
that
photo.
one.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Well, like I said, this is the Creator's Kit. Jamey, I had asked you to bring with you 3 to 5 tools. This could be software or hardware that you use to help you create and capture content. Obviously, you are a photographer, so we're going to move through the creative process. I have listed this creative process as capture, organize, edit, publish, and analyze. So we're going to kind of go through that flow and talk about the tools and tech that you use to make that possible. So starting with capture, obviously, like I said, you're a photographer. Capture may seem a little, pretty easy. But do you have a piece of tech for capture, or is it pretty straightforward?
Pretend I'm holding my gigantic lens. It's at the media center in Daytona, and my days kind of changed around a little bit. But the capture side of my job is really the side that's really the most important for sports photography. Most of the heavy lifting on what we're creating is done like while I'm actually standing trackside taking a picture. There are creators and there are photographers that do a lot of post-processing and all of that stuff where you're creating an image after the fact. And with sports photography, it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't benefit you to have to create something on your laptop later. So most of us that when we're trackside, when we're covering a race, I'm in Daytona right now covering what will be the Rolex 24-hour race. My clients will be demanding pictures of me multiple times during the day. So it's not just like a, grab a shot and we'll see it next week kind of thing.
Right.
It needs to be multiple uploads during the race event, and that's even more true for Formula One, particularly where we are delivering pictures, live from where we're standing. So I use mirrorless technology cameras. They're all kind of the same, whether you're using Canon, Nikon, Sony. They all pretty much work the same. And then when it comes to lenses are really the most important thing when it comes to sports photography, especially because, a lot of what people see that they like in a picture wasn't done by the camera. It was done by the lens, like the depth of field. And, when you see all the pretty, where you see the car and the background is blown out a little bit, or it's hyper focused on the driver, and you can't necessarily see that it's China or Malaysia or Singapore or whatever racetrack you're at. A lot of that is done just through the lens and not the camera. The camera is just kind of capturing what the lens is seeing.
Right.
So we carry a lot of different types of lenses around. I'll have wide angle lenses to do, Monaco is a great example where you need those super long lenses that get you right up in the driver's face as they're coming out of the tunnel, but you also need a really wide lens to be able to see the whole Monaco Harbor, the atmosphere, the marshals standing inches away from the cars as they're whizzing by.
Right.
You have to have those different types of lenses to be able to capture that. And, the shutter speeds and things that we use vary. People always ask me in my comments, what shutter speed do you use for motorsport?
Yeah.
And the answer to that is literally I've used every single shutter speed that my camera can do, from 30-second exposures where especially it doesn't really work for Formula One, but for endurance racing where you see brake lights and different lights on the cars, you see light trails. I'll put my camera on a tripod and do a 30-second exposure with fireworks or the car's going through a corner. So you have 30-second exposures, and then you also have those types of pictures where the cars are coming past you at literally 220 miles an hour.
Right.
And if you're shooting at 1/1000th, you're basically panning the car. So the car won't even be sharp in the picture. You need it to be frozen sharp at 1/8000th or 1/10000th. So you kind of use a lot of different types of settings to capture what you're needing to capture, but every single corner that I go to, every single day that I'm working, I'm not using necessarily the same settings because the light changes. This isn't a studio, it's a racetrack that's outside in the sun, and sometimes you'll get a cloudy day or it's raining, and then the next day is bright and sunny. So even if I go to the same corner and do the same picture, I'm using different settings because I'm having to compensate for the natural light. And using a flash is almost irrelevant and pointless in motorsport photography. There are some cases where it is useful, but generally not. So
nice.
Yeah.
I can imagine that the lens are doing, like you said, it's about 90% of the lens is doing the work for you. So you touched on you're delivering live photos essentially to your clients and everything. I've heard about cameras before that have internet connectivity and then can download or upload those files to a location right as you take them. Do you use any of that? Is that possible at a racetrack when you're outside? Are you connected to the internet and just uploading them live? How does that function?
Yeah, we do use it, and I use it for almost every type of racing that I cover. So there's a couple different ways you can make this type of thing happen, and it's not new technology. We've been using this same type of system for as long as I've been covering Formula One, essentially.
Right.
So, it's really nice and easy now that your phone is essentially a hotspot. So you can create an internet connection from your phone that is broadcasting an internet signal that your camera is now able to natively pick up. So all of the major camera brands, are able to, especially the professional bodies. I can't necessarily speak for the prosumer stuff, but the professional bodies are all able to connect to the internet. And we're going to then be able to have that camera you'll set it up with the FTP server that we need to send it to.
Right.
There's a lot of different types of like, everybody kind of has a different system for it. But with our particular setup, we'll be connected to the hotspot. It then goes to a person that's sitting in England, which is where the editor that works for the agency that I work for, that's where he's working from. So no matter where we are in the world, whether we're in Asia or Miami or Las Vegas or Australia, it doesn't matter. He's working the same hours that we are. So if we're up at 8 a.m. and at the track getting the drivers and Lewis Hamilton walking in the morning, our editor is awake wherever in England, so whatever time it is in England, he's then getting those images coming straight to his server from 4 or 5 of us. So we'll be sending like lots of different pictures of the drivers walking in, and then you'll have the start of practice sessions, the grid, race starts, all of those things are live delivery kind of needs. And then the other interesting side of it that the teams are using is for damage assessment, tire management. Damage assessment is one that sports car teams use a lot. That, if you're running a 24-hour race and you make a pit stop, it can cost you your race. Like, the 24 hours of Le Mans, the last, I don't even know how many years in a row, has been won by a margin of less than a minute or so.
Yeah, it's been very close recently. Yes, yeah.
So, and that's like, that's the amazing thing about endurance racing, is that somehow at the end of a 24-hour race, the cars are still like quite close together. Like, there's been larger Formula One winning margins than, quite regularly than there are in some of these super long endurance races. So if you have a team that makes contact with another car, Toyota had a funny one a couple years ago where they hit a squirrel or a groundhog or a rabbit or something.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And it hit this animal doing 220 miles an hour down the Mulsanne Straight. And obviously it doesn't end well for the animal, but it also didn't end well for the car either, because it blew a hole in the front splitter of the Toyota, and they couldn't tell how bad this hole was. They knew that they were losing performance, but they couldn't necessarily see how bad the damage itself was. So they sent me, because I work with another photographer, and together we cover the Toyota Le Mans program. So, I'm out trackside. It's shortly after sunrise, and we get a text message on our engineering WhatsApp channel for Toyota, and they're like, "Hey, we've got a problem here. We just hit something. We need damage assessment." And that happens every single race that I've covered. So they're leaning on us to be able to show them what the car is looking like. If there's damage to a certain part of the car, they can see. There's various ways, or there's various reasons to need that, because sometimes it's a performance thing, but there's also going to be the potential from the series that your car is no longer safe to be operating because there's something hanging off the back of it, or it no longer has brake lights. The number plate, I heard a good story from the World Endurance Championship race in Bahrain or Qatar last year, where the Porsche didn't know if their number plate was fully operational or not.
Oh.
And so they called on their photographer, we need a shot of the left side of the car, right now. And so the photographer was able to deliver that in real time to their team, and the team could figure out exactly what was wrong. They brought the car in, because if you don't have a working number plate or it's not lit up, then they'll black flag you. And so they need to have, and it can't be a surprise. So they need to know that this is going to be a problem.
Yes.
So the live delivery thing is something that we've probably been doing for pretty seriously for the last 10 years or so, where the teams really lean on it for tire management in Formula One, because we can't see the tires in sports car racing. They're covered by the wheel arches, but in Formula One, you can see all the degradation on the tire. And the teams really use that quite a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. It's so funny, learning more in-depth details and everything, because having you delivering information to the teams like that is something that would never occur to me. in just watching you do what you do, like through the TV. You know, it's just like, oh, he's a photographer, he's taking photos and everything. You know, it's not an informational process too for the teams as well, which I think is super unique. So we kind of started moving into it with that question, but to organize all of the photos and everything that you take, is there one piece of software that you enjoy using? Is it physical, like SSDs? What do you mainly use, your go-to solution to organize and hold all of the pictures that you take? Because I'm sure it's thousands upon thousands of pictures you take in a weekend.
It's a lot. Like, I mean, for example, the 24 hours of Daytona, I think the number of images that I hit last year was probably between 25 and 30,000 pictures over the course of, like, you know, let's call it like 8 a.m. to 5 or 6 p.m., 5 p.m.-ish.
Right.
And I know that seems insane, but when you really like divide, you know, 30,000 or let's call it like 25,000 by a 35-hour day, like it's not that many per hour. Like, it's still a lot, but it's not, I'm not just like sitting on the shutter all day long. So you have thousands and thousands of images that we're creating. And so what do you do with all those pictures? You basically, I'll come back, I'll pop my Lexar memory cards back into my computer, into the card reader, and I use a program called Photo Mechanic. And Photo Mechanic is a great program that I've used for my entire career. And I learned to use it when I was working with a newspaper back 15 years ago. And basically it's like kind of like a digital Lightroom, not like the Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. Like, it's like the actual digital Lightroom where you would look at slides of film and you would say, like, this is one I want, this is the one I don't want, this is, you know, you can look at it in a way that makes it easy to look at. And that's what their goal was. And there's a lot, most sports photographers, I would say, use this program or something very similar to it. Okay. Where we'll pop it in, we'll pop our memory cards in, and then it's pulling up essentially what is a JPEG preview. Even if you're shooting RAW files, like there's two different types of files that cameras shoot. So you have JPEGs and RAWs. Even if you're shooting a RAW file, your camera still creates a lower resolution JPEG file for each RAW file that it creates. So the Photo Mechanic program is looking at the JPEG preview, so it's not having to read all of the information off of a RAW image, which is they're huge images. Like, they're
RAW's a lot,
uncompressed. They're like almost 100 megabytes at this point.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of processing power for your computer to have to deal with, like 30,000 RAW images sitting in front of it, which is something my computer's not able to do. There's not really any computer that is. Yeah. So it's looking at the JPEG preview of the images that you've created, and you can then really quickly flip through as fast as your fingers will move on the keyboard. You can flip through and color tag pictures, and you basically have 8 or 9 color tag options. So I can choose from, you know, the best to the least important based on what my needs are, what my clients' needs are, all of that kind of stuff. So Photo Mechanic is how we then color tag, make sure that those pictures are sharp, more or less how we want them to look. And it's not editing software at all. It's purely organizational, color tagging, sorting. So you can't do any edits with Photo Mechanic. It is purely a digital Lightroom that allows you to look at high volumes of pictures in a more efficient way than Lightroom allows you to do. Like like the Adobe Lightroom.
Right, so you're literally just like flipping through images and saying pretty much like good, bad, good, you know, like, and then sorting that way. That's really unique. I like that it's that really kind of like dialed in use case of like
it's very simple, and but it works really. It's not simple at all, but it is a simple simple thing that we're doing, and you know, there's that. It's more important to have your organization or have the pictures that you need classed in some kind of way instead of all just in like the Lightroom catalog on, you know, Lightroom Classic, like where it's all just like blah. And I know that Lightroom can do that, but the way that it's actually reading the images is slower and less efficient for your computer than Photo Mechanic does. And then Photo Mechanic also allows you, if you're having to do any captioning where, Lewis Hamilton drives his Mercedes or Ferrari F1 26 or whatever it is.
Right.
You can create whatever caption template you want, and Photo Mechanic will read that caption template. It can be customized to each person, which is cool.
Make it whatever you want, yeah.
So I'll do captions on some of the pictures. Mainly we leave that to our editor, but with sports car racing, some of the other stuff that I'm covering, we do have to put captions on it, and so I'll do captions on my pictures, and then it's also the Photo Mechanic program has an FTP uploader, so you can upload your pictures to where they need to go, whether it's client folders to all that type of stuff. So it does serve more of a purpose than just like it, don't like it, like it, don't like it, like it, don't like it.
Okay. So when you mentioned the Photo Mechanic has the FTP transfer and everything on it. When you go to a race and you're meeting with clients and everything, like, are you meeting with, like, I'm going to, like, generalize it here, but, like, their IT team and pretty much being like, hey, here's the folder location that you have to dump to? Do you know that ahead of time? Like, how does that process get kind of set up?
It depends client to client. Some of them will say, here's where it needs to go.
Right.
I work with Lamborghini, and they have a system that they use that this is where all the pictures need to get uploaded to from this particular race.
Okay.
So that works pretty well. That I kind of like it when a client has their own system to handle. It gets complicated when every single client has their own system, and you're like, oh God, I can't remember
what do I do?
Right, like I don't remember where this needs to go. And when I'm fully functioning at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning before the race starts, like that's great. But at 3 or 4 in the morning, when we're in the middle of a 24-hour or I've been awake for 30 hours, it's a little bit harder where your brain doesn't like fire on all cylinders. So you're trying to remember, but it mainly comes down to me where I'm uploading those pictures, and the IT department for X client has nothing to do with it. It's generally the marketing people and the PR side that we are dealing with. So the marketing side is going to tell us, like, this is the shot list for the weekend, and we need you to hit these different things.
Right.
And and then once we kind of complete that, maybe they're satisfied, maybe not. But we'll upload to where we've all mutually agreed that this is where the pictures will go. They have that link before the weekend starts, or hopefully at very worst, before the race starts. Right.
Very nice. Okay. So, all right. So jumping from organization in Photo Mechanic to editing. Say you're it's a couple days past the race weekend now. You're looking back through your photos and everything. Are you doing any sort of like major editing? Like, what does that look like for you? Are you using Adobe Lightroom to edit photos?
Yeah, so I do use Lightroom, the classic Lightroom, not the mobile version. So because, like I was saying earlier, that most of what we're doing as sports photographers needs to be done, and I'm speaking generally, but this is me, and this is how most like deadline sports photographers would work. You can't Photoshop unicorns and rainbows into your pictures. It has to be done. It has to be done like in the camera, through the lens, through choosing the shutter speeds, through choosing the exposure that you see something happening in front of you, and you need to capture it in a way that you don't have to spend an hour after the fact editing it. And so I will make the picture that I want. I'll ingest the cards. I'll choose it in Photo Mechanic, and then when I pull it into Lightroom, that selection of pictures, like let's say I've color tagged Lamborghini stuff or Cadillac Formula One or whatever your client is. I've color tagged that as one color. I'll pull that color those priority images into Lightroom. Lightroom will then open it up, and then I'll look at those pictures and do minor adjustments. Like I'm talking maybe crop angle adjust, like maybe I shot it a little bit like kind of horizon tilted, and not necessarily on purpose. It's just I'm standing there, it's uneven ground, whatever reason. So I'll horizon adjust or create the crop that I think it should be for that picture, but I'm not going to do like the art of cropping where you take something, like this and you turn it into like that. That doesn't really work for bigger clients because they need the full resolution image to be able to do whatever they need to do with it.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
I'll do like a minor crop adjustment. I'll maybe adjust the contrast a little bit. Color, I'm not gonna crank the saturation, but our cameras see, like, they have a white balance system that the sensor is looking at the world, and your eyes and your brain process things very differently than a camera would. So you'll see something at night. Our eyes are processing fluorescent lights like really well, but cameras don't. Cameras see fluorescent lights as like something from an alien world, and they're having to like figure out what's the color of the light source, but then what about your subject? And those are two totally separate things. So I'll adjust the white balance a little bit if needed, but nothing crazy, minor exposure adjustment. And all of this is happening, like I'm explaining it 100 times longer than what I'm gonna do. And I'm looking at each picture for maybe 3 to 5 seconds, like literally 10 seconds at most, where if I am spending longer than that, if I have a pile of 150 to 200 pictures of selects, not the Photo Mechanic raw, 7,000 from like Sunset this coming weekend at Rolex 24. That 7,000 gets whittled down to like, okay, I've got 75 client images that are really what I want to like process. And if I take 75 images, or let's just say 100 images to keep it mathematically easy, if I take 100 images and I work on those 100 images for 1 minute each, that's 100 minutes of just sitting there in front of my computer while the race is happening. That's over, that's like a decent fraction of the race that I'm sitting there in front of my computer. That doesn't work. Like I need to be out covering the race or working with my clients. Like they've got a pit stop. They need help with the damage assessment, or, it's sunset or sunrise, or pick your important part of the race. But if I'm sitting at my laptop, like it actually happened a couple of years ago where we were at Le Mans, and it didn't look like it was going to rain, but we're all kind of like, I think it's okay for a little bit. And if it's going to rain, you want to be out in the rain, because that's the story of the race, and your clients are all going to be like, we're in the rain, like, oh my God, it's raining. And so we're all in the media center and processing images, and we look up at the TV screen and it's dumping, like absolutely dumping. And we're like,
downpours.
Oh, yeah. And we're all sitting in front of our computer. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll like, you kind of finish what you're doing and then you go out. But it can happen even, if you're not really aware of your time or what you're doing or how long you've spent doing something, you can really miss important parts of the race.
Right.
So there's a huge time management side of it, that it is important to not just be sitting in front of your computer, like hunched over, creating. I don't like when people create an image that wasn't there, because in motorsport photography that doesn't work. Like if you want to do that next Wednesday, like sure, go for it.
Right.
We're all gonna see that it's an image you created and not made. Off standing trackside, we're all gonna like judge you for it. But it's definitely like it's no longer photography when you're just adding rainbows and unicorns and sun flare. Something that wasn't there, didn't happen, wasn't like that. Like you're creating that image. You don't have time to do that sitting in the media center during the race when your clients are on track and the race, like a Formula One race, is an hour and a half long. if you do an edit in the middle of a Formula One race, you had better be fast at doing your edits, because you're going to miss a significant portion of the race. Just sitting there, even if you're doing it trackside on your phone, you know, like if somebody's doing social media for a team, like, and they're pulling pictures to their phone, which is what some people do. Like if you're doing that for 10, 15 minutes, you've missed a quarter of the race, like literally just standing
that's
there.
what,
so
when you said the 100 minutes, I immediately, my mind went to a 2-hour Formula One race, and I was like, yeah, you're missing more than half of the race, like, by sitting there. Yeah.
So you need to be a very proficient photographer making the image that you want to make when you're actually taking the picture with the correct settings, so that when you get it into Lightroom, which is your editing software, you're not creating a new image, you're just polishing what you've already done just a little bit, and you're making it the way, like maybe everybody has a little bit of a different style. Like my style is probably a little bit more contrast heavy than some people, but not massively so. But that's just how I see the world. I see the world in highlights and shadows and contrast and, you know, all that stuff. That's just how I see the world. But not everybody does. So you create your own bit of editing, like that's your style, and you then send that on to your client so that your client has the pictures that they need. But regardless, I can't spend 100 minutes every 4 hours after I've been trackside during a 24-hour, just for example. Like I can't spend 100 minutes every 4 hours creating images that like it just doesn't work. So I will do what I need to do in 3 to 5 seconds at most, so that 100 minutes only becomes like maybe 20 when I'm sitting there, like actually doing the work, doing the processing, and all that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, so I'm going to group our last two stages together with publish and analyze, because we kind of talked about publish. It's during real live races and everything. You're just dumping it right to your clients, what they need, and where they specify it to go. Do you do any sort of post-race analysis? Or, you know, if you're, I'm going to use Daytona as an example, you know, if you're going back to Daytona next year, are you then looking at this year's photos and being like, I really liked this corner, or I really like this location, okay, these are the settings that I had for it? Is there any sort of like post-race analysis that you do to then, quote unquote, do better next time?
Absolutely, but it doesn't necessarily happen. Like it maybe should when it's fresh in my mind, but like sometimes I will take notes and I'll like write myself an iPhone note on Daytona of like I really like this corner at this time of day. But to be honest with you, most of that type of thing that I'm like looking post-event looking at my images happens the following year when I'll be getting ready to go to Daytona, because for us it's a great problem to have, but with motorsport photography, I'm already like, when the race ends, when the checkered flag flies, I'm already almost looking straight to the next race weekend that I'm having to cover, or the next thing that I'm having to do. So when I'm done with Daytona this coming weekend, my next thing is I drive home on Monday morning and I'm in Canada on Wednesday morning.
Right.
So I get 24 hours at home to like see my wife, hug my kids, be a dad, send invoices, and all of that has to happen before I leave again and pack for another trip on Wednesday morning. So I don't really take a lot of time to like go back through what I've done necessarily, and so I can do it again better for next year. But there is some element of that if it's like really notable, something that I need to remember this. Like
you need to like make a note of it.
Right. But for when I'm getting ready to come down to Daytona next year, I'll go back and look at the pictures that I did from last year, and there's stuff that's like, okay, I want to do this again. I didn't really like this, but sometimes I just don't have a choice. Like I spent one of the practice sessions this week doing some really boring photography. It wasn't fun, but that's what my clients asked me to do.
They needed
it, so they needed it. So I wasn't able to go do 10th of a second whip pans. I had to go do like boring 1/200th, you know, cars going across the finish line so that they can create it and turn it into a hero card for this week to hand out to fans.
Right.
So there's different things that you're having to do, but I'll go back and look at what I did last year and kind of generally look at how my race went, or I really like this corner at this time of day. But there's a lot of it that you can't, even if I wanted to, I can't reproduce it because it'll never be the exact same atmospheric conditions, temperature, dew point, humidity, the cloud layer might be different. Like we had an absolutely epic sunrise almost probably 10 years ago now for this exact race. Ooh. And we were all sitting there at the corner. Sunrise is coming. We know it's like, we're just counting down the minutes to like sunrise. And you know when you're getting ready and you see just this, it just looks cloudy, but then all of a sudden the clouds just turn purple and orange and like it just, the sky explodes in color. And it's so short-lived because somewhere, a million miles away, the sun has popped up underneath of that cloud layer, and it has to be perfect conditions, and it doesn't happen that often. But it could be completely cloudy, like no blue sky where you are, but suddenly somewhere down like 1,000 miles away, the sun has come up underneath of that cloud layer and is illuminating the underside of the cloud layer with all of that color. And that's what we got that at Daytona a couple years ago. And we were all like, oh, and it was,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we were all going nuts. And it was literally maybe 2 laps of the race where we got like just incredible colors. And that's then awesome. That 2 laps ended and it went like straight back to 50 Shades of Gray, which is exactly what it was before that. And you're just hoping for that cloud layer burst, but we got it. And I could go back to that same corner for 100 years and wouldn't get it the same way again. Yeah. So you can plan, you can prep, you can do all that stuff, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, like nature and it's just going to be different. Just for whatever reason, maybe I could pull out 100 examples of stuff that will never happen again. Right. But it was incredible when we captured it.
Very nice. That's an awesome story. That's like one of those unique things. It's like you said, it happens every once in a blue moon. It's like when it happens, it's like, oh my God, we have to capture this right now. That's incredible. Well, that is all I have. Jamey, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Give yourself, I know you said you're coming up to Daytona, but where can listeners and viewers find you on social media and everything? And is there anything specific that you want them to keep an eye out for that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, you can find me on all social media channels at Jamey Price Photo. I have YouTube, TikTok, Threads, X, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I'm on it. I love racing. So if you're interested in photography and if you're interested in racing or car photography, grab your camera. Doesn't even matter if you don't have a camera. Grab your phone and treat your phone as a camera and bring it out to a race. Like something like the Rolex 24 is an incredible event to attend. It's like $160 for a 4-day ticket, and it's amazing access. You can go on the grid, you can go in the paddock, you can meet the drivers, you can touch the cars when they're getting ready to go out for the race. So you don't need credentials to make cool pictures as a car photographer. You just have to know where to go and just when you do it, have fun. And it's a really cool community of motorsport and automotive photographers that I love it. So come hang out at a race with us.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us today. Everybody, if you've enjoyed this interview with Jamey and you're excited about this series, please make sure to like and subscribe. Jamey, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope Daytona goes well and maybe you get another beautiful sunrise photos this year.
I'm hoping. Here's the hope.
Here's the hoping.
Thanks for having me.
Man. I really, really appreciate it. See you later.